Peter Navarro is the former White House economic advisor and author of Taking Back Trump's America. So, Peter, what exactly happened to you the other day?
Well, when you said shackled, Jesse, you weren't talking metaphorically. I literally was put in leg irons and handcuffs, solitary confinement in John Hinckley's cell, I was fondly told, and taken at an airport by 5 FBI agents, me, all 145 pounds of me and 72 years of age. The funny thing, Jesse, grimly, is that the FBI is literally across the street from me, and they could have done this far more civilly. But it is about the spectacle tonight, Jesse. What we have and what I've been fighting against and for is a kangaroo committee that has weaponized the investigatory process. It's issuing illegal and unenforceable subpoenas for the purpose, no other purpose, other than smearing Donald Trump to prevent him from returning successfully to the White House in 2025. And Jesse, I'm collateral damage. I'm the guy that they want to scare and perhaps put in prison to make sure folks like you and the rest of America will kowtow to their authoritarian ways. And you know, there's at the center of this, Jesse, is executive privilege, which is a concept dating back to George Washington that goes to the heart of effective presidential decision-making. President Trump has invoked an executive privilege in this case. It's not my privilege to waive. I've told the committee and the FBI and the Justice Department repeatedly, go talk to President Trump and his attorneys. If they waive the privilege, I'll do what the president directs me to. But until that time, duty and honor in the Constitution require me to do what I've done. And all I got out of that was leg irons and what looks like to be a $500,000 legal bill if this goes the distance. And I appreciate you talking about Taking Back Trump's America, Jesse, because that book is going to be my legal defense. It's on Amazon. Feel free to order it, folks. But it's also, importantly, Jesse, it's a blueprint and battle cry for taking back the White House from the Pelosiites, the Raskins, the Schiffs, all these disingenuous Democrats, as well as getting back the White House in 2024, my friend.
Yeah, you're right. You're a collateral damage. And from every single report that I've read, you didn't have anything to do with January 6th. You weren't even close to it.
Correct.
So, I mean, they just wanted to humiliate you and make an example out of you. And there's been a lot of collateral damage over the last couple of years, and it's a real disgrace. You mentioned they wanted to use this thing tonight to smear Trump. I think it's more than that. They want to tee up a felony charge, because if an individual is charged with a felony, they cannot become president. Yes. Isn't that what this is about?
Yes,
making
exactly.
sure Trump does not get reelected in 2024?
Well, look, they know that past could be prologue. I think the discredited Russia hoax, which began in 2016, and the 2 impeachments, took their toll on the president. And so if they can continue these discredited smear campaigns, they can prevent him either politically through public opinion or actually through prison from regaining the Oval Office. So, Jesse, you're absolutely right. That's their strategy. And one of the things in the civil suit I filed on Tuesday, no coincidence, 3 days later they're filing criminal charges against me, was to go through that legislative history you talked about the 7 Democrats on that kangaroo committee. And they all were implicated in the discredited Russia hoax, the 2 impeachments. And by the way, Jesse, there were 3 House resolutions to remove Trump from office for bogus reasons as well. So the legislative history, and in the case law that matters, says that these people are trying to be judge, jury, and executioner and committing a judicial function. That's a separation of powers violation. And these are the kind of constitutional questions I'm standing up. They're even trying to strip Donald Trump of executive privilege by saying it's Joe Biden's. That is a fanciful and absurd notion which would destroy executive privilege as we know it. And you know, I will stand up for this principle. They're coming at me hard, Jesse, but this is what we have to do in America. And I'm not the only person in America right now under their boot trying to be ground into dust.
All right, Peter Navarro, who did a great job on China
Jesse, my
when
buddy.
he was at the White House. Thank you so much for your service.
Thanks for the time, Jesse.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.